What's up, guys? It's the real main event, the Rogue Soldier, the essential John L. Crossfire.
And I'm Mrs. Crossfire.
And once again, you guys are tuned into Caught
In Conversation. Shakalaka-laka.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 120 of Caught In Conversation. As always, I am your host, the essential John L. Crossfire. Miss Nova Lee, not on this one today. She's not even in town. She's out hanging out with Miss Ruby July and Nick Martino while I'm stuck here at the compound. But that's okay, because by the time this episode drops, we'll be reunited and I'll be with all of them. And when this episode drops, myself and Mrs. Crossfire will actually be on our way back to the compound. But yeah, this week is a very fun episode. We talk to the Swooper, Barry Blake, and we talk about pro wrestling, obviously. We talk about his boxing fight for charity, where he's actually undefeated. We talk about his match coming up with our friend, our brother Big James, at the next Cara Western Warfare / Emma Butler Memorial show in October. We talk some integrity wrestling, and then towards the end we just kind of rant about sport. And there's a little funny drinking stories thrown in as well, because of course it wouldn't be a Swooper episode if we didn't talk about his wild, crazy party nights that we all know him for. Of course, the show that we're promoting is family friendly, but this podcast is what it is, so we can talk about whatever we want. But yeah, really enjoyed it. But the song of the week this week, it isn't even really a song, it's more of just a jingle. But the song I was going to use has already been used in a previous episode. So, the song of the week this week is the more chilly slot machine sound, the little 30-second jingle when you hit the jackpot. Now, I personally have never gambled in my entire life, and I don't plan to. I've never touched a slot machine, and I'm going to keep it that way. However, Swooper likes to have a beer and have a slap at the pokies, and he actually, before coming out to Cult of Personality for his boxing fight, actually had the little 30-second more chilly clip play, which he said got a little laugh from the people in Cara. So yeah, your song of the week this week is the more chilly sound that they play on the slot machines. You can find it on YouTube or download it. I'm sure if you've gone to a club, even if you don't play the pokies like me, you still know the sound. I've heard it many times and it always makes me laugh. But yeah, it's a little 30-second jingle is technically the song of the week this week, because it's Swooper's episode, and I'm here by myself without Nova Lee, so I'm going rogue, pun intended, and that's what it is. It's the song of the week. The match of the week is going to be Sabu versus Rob Van Dam for the TNA Heavyweight Championship at TNA Hard Justice 2010. This was their reunion show for ECW, one of many ECW reunion shows. Rob Van Dam was the TNA champion at the time, defended it against longtime friend, longtime rival, Sabu, and the referee was actually Bill Alfonso, who has notoriously been a referee over the years, but he also notoriously managed both men. And then after the match, because this was the main event, they had the heartfelt, reunion where everyone was in the ring and just gave the little speech and the love and just a love letter to ECW all of these years later. And even now, this is 14 years on, I still very much love ECW, and we'll hear about Swooper's love for ECW and Sabu sprinkled within this conversation. But yeah, with that being said, I'm not gonna waste any more time. Miss Nova Lee's not here, so we won't have a great ring announcer. But I'm just gonna say, send in the Swooper, ladies and gentlemen. This is Barry Blake. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the one, the only, Barry the Swooper Blake, and we've been talking for about 10 minutes, and I figured we should probably jump into this, otherwise we're just going to be sitting here talking for an hour, and none of it's going to be fucking recorded. But how are you doing tonight, Swoop?
I'm doing fine yourself, mate.
Yeah, mate, plugging along. I'm just going to... Oh, yeah. That's a good sound, isn't it? But obviously, Swoop, Realistically, you've only been around for a cup of coffee when you think about it, because you debuted in 2018, and then obviously 2 years later we had COVID, which kind of just fucked the wrestling industry for a year and a half here in Australia, if not 2 years for some of the smaller promotions. But we can just kind of scale it back. I always ask the same question on Caught In Conversation. It's a good icebreaker. It's a good way to just kind of mark out. And I don't think I've actually talked to you about this before either, so I'm actually excited. But
Nah, no,
you've been a lifelong wrestling fan, Swoop. So what was your earliest wrestling memory that you can recall?
Back in the day, Mum used to go out for beers and that with her friends, and my uncle was a babysitter. And Mum said no wrestling, blah blah blah. Each time Mum left, my uncle put wrestling on straight away.
Yes, Uncle Swoop.
Yeah, my uncle just put wrestling on every time Mum went out for lunch or after us, and watching old school wrestling, mate, was insane. Like, watching Sabu, Jeff Hardy, Dudley's, then Master Man Randy Savage, and everyone like that.
So you got like a mixed of styles here. You got like the EC dub, like the 90s WWF, the 80s WWF. That's cool. That's cool.
Love EC dub.
Who was the first real wrestler as a kid that your uncle kind of like exposed you to that you can remember?
The Undertaker.
Taker, yes, dude.
Yeah, that's one. Him and John C. Austin.
Hell yeah, they're two very common answers, Stone Cold and Taker. But from obviously, so you've basically just from knee high to a grasshopper been a wrestling fan because of your uncle. At what point, Swoop, did you say, I wanted to do that or I could do that? And at what point, how did it come to be that you? Because I know obviously we both have a mutual mentor in James High Octane. But at what point, like how did you training for wrestling come to be?
I was going to do it when I was 10 years old when I first lost to it. And Octane put something seen something on Facebook. There was wrestling crowd, the first wrestling warfare. And I messaged. That was a long time ago.
That was back in that was 2016, I think the first one was, or 2015 even.
Yeah, it was. I missed it the first one. I played footy, and messing for years and years. I'm 10 get into it and difficult to do it, and one day I thought, stop it.
Just shoot your shot sort of thing, yeah?
Yeah, I'm messing and he lived 5 doors up from me. 5, 6 doors up in Cowra.
That's kind of funny though, like Cowra obviously is a very small town, but the fact that he lived that close to you is that's
6 doors up, yeah.
Yeah, like just walk out your front door, meet him halfway.
I can kick the footy and he'll hit the backyard probably.
So how did you approach James Swoop? Did you just send him the message and say, hey, like, how do I get into this? Or
Facebook, mate, yeah. Facebook message. I seen him walk past one day. I said, oh, mate, I was on the beers when I seen him.
Swooper on the beers. I'm calling shenanigans. That would never happen.
I yelled off from the front of Ender.
Local celebrity James High Octane just getting hailed by some random drunk dude, and he's just like, hello?
Hello, this is business.
So at what point did you actually start training with High Octane? Because I know you debuted in 2018, which was November, but you were training for what, like probably 7 or 8 months? Is that about right?
It was about 6, 7 months.
6, 7 months, yeah.
So before I done wrestling training, I trained to fight for my boxing.
Actually, I'm going to detour for a second before I go into the next question, because I forgot that you did that. Actually, if I had have remembered that, I would have put it down. But you did have a professional fight in Cowra, and I believe, from what I've been told, you actually came out to Cult of Personality, which obviously is a very famous song in wrestling because it's CM Punk, but I believe you're actually undefeated in boxing. So how did that come about, man? Like, what made you want to start getting into the boxing?
Oh, pissed on a Saturday. I seen a Facebook post.
Pissed on a Saturday and saw. You know what? That's going to be the name of the title. Pissed on a Saturday. Pissed on a Saturday.
Pissed on a Saturday. And my mate was a trainer. Bloody messing with me, mate. 5 o'clock in the morning. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's almost like obviously anyone that listens to the podcast knows, and anyone that knows me personally knows that my favourite wrestler of all time is Eddie Guerrero, and obviously his dad, famous wrestler as well. That's how he became a wrestler, was because he walked in, he saw the ring, he thought he had signed up for boxing training.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
And then he walked in and turned out it was something completely different.
bloody wrestling.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. So what? You just messaged this bloke and said, "Hey, like I'm keen to put the gloves on," and all of a sudden you're boxing.
I told him on the Facebook post.
And what they've just said, come on. How long did you train for that fight?
I've been good mates with him for years and years beforehand. And buddy, what was it? 4 or 5 months? No, it
so
was
that's not too bad, though.
3 months. 3 months. 3 months.
All right.
I think 3 months it was. It was a Saturday, and I think the boss was in April. April, May. So let's say 4 months.
Hell yeah, that's cool. Because again, that's something that I always kind of wanted to get into. Was obviously probably not professionally, but I'd always wanted to get into some sort of boxing or MMA just for fun. Obviously, with my health issues, I don't think I'd ever do that, because if I cop a punch to the eye, my eyeball's gonna explode.
Yeah.
But
not worth it now. Not worth it now, mate.
but how many fights was it? Just the one fight, or did you have more than
Just one, mate.
Just the one.
Raise money for type 1 diabetes and that.
Yes, so that was going to be my next question, because I was I know it was for a charity, but that's I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I'm still petitioning somehow for that Swooper versus Muzdog charity boxing match.
I'm keen.
Oh, but what was it?
He's a bodybuilder now.
Yes, he is. He's doing a phenomenal job. But obviously, we're going to jump around a little bit here, because obviously you debuted for wrestling in 2018, which was a little bit afterwards. But what was it like, kind of walking through that curtain for the boxing? Because obviously, look, we know what wrestling is. We don't want to pull the curtain back too much. But what was it like, walking out there knowing that, hey, I'm probably about to get punched in the face? How do you prepare for that when you're standing there waiting for the music to play?
Well, I was the 5th last fight I was, or something like that. But I was nervous as fuck, and technically I had 2 songs I came up to. 2 songs.
Okay.
My first one was More Chili, the Basement Scene. More Chili. And
Yes.
after that, felt personality phase. Everyone must laugh. I thought it was funny as fuck.
Hell yes. I'm going to have to make either one of those two the song of the week. I don't think I've done Coldest Personality, so that'll probably end up just being the song of the week. But how do you prep for that, man? What is it? Because obviously it's not like a full blown, it's still a legitimate fight night, but it's not like a full blown fight camp, because it's more for charity. But what's the training like for that? How extreme is that training for boxing for?
I train in 2 times a day, for 7 days a week.
Fuck, man. So that's still pretty hardcore.
No, 6 days a week it was. 2 times, 6 days a week. Every Sunday was a day off.
See, that's still pretty hectic, man. For obviously, you're getting in there, you're having a fight, but raising money for charity is obviously a good thing. But considering you're not, you look at, I'm trying to think of who's the big, boxer, like the Suzu family, right? They're well known all around Australia, all around the world, and they're getting paid money to box. But to do training that extensive just for a one-off charity show, that takes real commitment, man. I commend you for that. That's crazy. I didn't realize that you went to that extent.
I want to do more fights and favourite stuff things up.
You reckon you'll ever have another fight, whether for charity or for otherwise?
Well, I love to do mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts?
Or kickboxing.
I reckon I could see Swoop doing some jiu-jitsu or some Muay Thai or something like that. I reckon I could see that.
I've done some training up here since I moved. Bloody hard fitness. It's bloody hard. It's nothing different.
Got to get that bloody cardio up, man.
There's not much in the tank.
But just circling back, because as I said, I completely forgot about the boxing, so I wanted to just briefly touch on that. But just circling back, when you're watching all of the crazy stuff with Taker and Stone Cold and the EC stuff and the Jeff Hardy stuff, was there a specific moment, Swoop, in wrestling that made you kind of want to jump into it, or was it just the spectacle of it all?
Funny story. I seen someone break a bone once. I thought, I'll do that. I seen someone break a bone.
You seen someone break the bone, and they're like, I can do that. Oh,
This
Jesus
Sandman was
Christ.
the man back in the day. This Sandman, this is it from the Pierce. Listen, hit yourself with a chain across the head. Oh, this person's like me. It's bloody mental.
Dude, no matter how many times I watch it, I know it was well after the fact, but the 2005 ECW One Night Stand,
Oh,
Sandman's entrance on that show, man, it
that
gets
was a
me every
masterpiece.
time. It's like that's top 3 all time entrances. I don't care what promotion or whatever. Like that was god tier. But what I can't believe that. I was expecting like Jeff Hardy like jumping off a ladder or something crazy, and you're like, oh, you saw someone break a bone.
My body's not made for
Saw
that.
someone break a bone, and you're like, I could do. Alrighty. Well, as I said, this is going to jump all over the place with like the timelines and that. And as you know, I'm ADHD as fuck, so this is just how this works. But I had a question sent in actually, and it's from someone that you and I know both very well. Unfortunately, he's like a brother to us, and I know you did see this question as well.
I did.
But he's a little bit mad. Big James, he's still a little bit salty about the fact that you speared him and pinned him in 2022, and I know we're brothers in arms and we're all part of Rogue, and the 3 of us collectively, we called ourselves SBC, but he sent the question in, and I know you said it, but I'll quote it here for the episode, and this is exactly as he wrote it. He says, how did you manage to pull off the biggest fluke in ICW Central West history by beating him, and how do you plan on dealing with the beatdown you're going to get come October for the Emma Butler Memorial Show?
Oh, well, when I pinned him, I speared him at the right place at the right time, and it wasn't a fluke. I got the best spear in Central West Wrestling. Sorry, Benny, by you. And the second time, I'll be pinning him the second time, and he'll be going home a very sad man. I love him, but I'm undefeated in Cara.
You are.
I'm not the Undertaker in Central West.
Swooper is the Undertaker, essentially. And like, as you know, man, I was there. I was accompanying Big James to ringside.
Yeah.
That was that night was kind of what sealed you joining Rogue when I shook your hand after the match. But
Yeah.
I'm going to be on commentary for this show, and
Are you?
and I'm very interested in this match because James has made
It'll
it
be
very
fun.
clear that if he can't beat you, he's done. So.
And back to Sydney as a sad man.
And as I said, like I'd hate to see it, but again, like
Me too.
you guys are both my homies. I know that this is a family friendly event in itself, and it's inside a church. But given that this is the Courting Conversation podcast, we can talk about this kind of stuff. Once the show is over, I want to see you guys pretty much beat the crap out of each other, and then afterwards, I want to go back to the hotel and I want to drink a beer. That's the way I'm looking at it. But unfortunately, it seems like our brother James here he's taken his defeat to you, I think, a little bit too personally, Swoop.
It's part of the business, mate. Business is business at the same time.
Mate. It is, but I mean, look, his first match was against me, and we beat the crap out of each other there. And I think you guys will. I think you'll shock people, to be honest. I think you guys are just going to go out there and just throw hands, I think. But
I aimed up myself a new finish I'll build up. We'll wait and see for the night if it works or not.
Well, there you go. That's a warning there for Big James. Maybe a little exclusive here on Courting Conversation. Swooper, if the spear doesn't get the job done, he might just hit something else. Okay.
Well, it's up in the worst, mate.
Well, as I said, I'm on commentary for that. So, I'll have to get your scoop when we're not recording off the air behind the scenes, just so if you do hit it, I can call it by its name. But alrighty, Swooper's laying down the law to Big James. I might have to even get a rebuttal off him as we get closer to the event. But of course, the link will be in the description of this episode for that. And you've actually got something very excited that you want to talk about as well. And we'll plug it again at the end. But real quick, Swoop, you've just done some stuff for Integrity Wrestling. I saw you had the referee stripes on. Could you tell us a little bit about that, mate?
I've done some wrestling for Integrity Sports Entertainment. For they had the opportunity to do it. And it was a fun night. We raised some money for some the deceased Dingo.
Yeah,
shot.
I this is the third or fourth podcast I think where I've talked about this, and every time I can't think of what he has. But yes, of course, Dingo Cannon was diagnosed with something. I'm sorry, I can't think of it. But yeah, no, he's an absolute legend, one of the nicest dude, tremendous talent as well, as trained some of the best that this country has to offer. But yeah, he's had to step away from active competition. But they raised some money for him and for his condition, which is
we raised about $500. We did
$500. Remember that a little old wrestling show raises $500 for some from what would you describe it? Some physical issues from. Is it a disease? I don't even know. Like, I'm so sorry.
Something with motor or something. Kind of thing.
Was it motor neurone disease or was it something else? I'm so sorry, Dingo. I've just butchered this. People will be like listening to this and be like, "Fucking do your research." But I didn't realize I forgot about Dingo raising money on that show. But what was it like for you, Swoop, putting the stripes on? Because obviously I started as a referee before I transitioned to a half-hours wrestler.
I met him on the first though. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He was there for the first one. He wrestled in a tab in a freeway match.
Yeah, they did the it was the memory of Thunder. It was him, Luke Watts, and
Luke Watts, Jindo, and Torso what's his name? Nathan. I was get Torso and Torma mixed up.
Yeah, it was Trauma because just Torches.
I was getting them two mixed up. Love them like brothers. Really along pretty well. Love Torso, love Trauma.
Almost said, like, I know that he says his shoot name on Pierce's show sometimes, but I almost just said Torches.
I'm bad with names.
Almost just said Torches shoot name, but yeah, it was that's right. It was Luke Watts, Dingo, and Trauma in the triple threat in honor of Thunder. But yeah, pretty cool that you guys raised money though.
Fun match to watch.
But yeah, what was it like for you, Swoop, putting the stripes on?
I was nervous at first. Then I'm a fair ref. I done it safe in the middle. And Mad Matt and Big Go. It was a good hard hitting match. Mad Matt got the winner, of course. He's a naughty boy, but I say nothing. But then he hit Go with chairs afterwards. I was too scared because he said, "You come to me. You do next."
Hell yeah!
So I said, "No, I'm staying away from him." So he's a mad man.
Swoop says, "Look, I'm just the official. I'm just doing my job, please, sir."
That's what I said. No, it was a fun night. I only done one match.
But will you be taking part of the big shows in November with Trevor Lee, Swoop?
Yeah, I am. I got a part with both. I got something on for both of them shows.
Obviously, you can't reveal it, but yeah.
No, I can't reveal it yet. Top secret. If I tell you, I'd get my mad pies on you, mate.
But no,
so the first night's a Friday, and the second night's a Saturday. One is at their entrance.
Yeah, Friday. I think the Friday's the entrance, and the Saturday is St. Mary's, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's the other way around, I'm sorry.
He's doing both. Friday night the entrance, Saturday night St. Mary's.
I'd love to make it up to those shows because it is a weekend that I have off, but it all depends on funds and health and everything else. But definitely one that's definitely one that's
a couple weeks off the car. A few weeks off the car too, mate.
Yeah, and then it's I think it's actually the week before the Extreme Capital Wrestling show as well. So I don't know. It's not looking promising, but definitely if I can swing it, I'll have a look because I've been a big fan of Trevor Lee / WWE fans would know him as Cameron Grimes, but yeah, I've been a big fan of his for quite a number of years. But I'm very looking forward to seeing who they announce as his opponent because you guys in Integrity have. You guys have a really stacked roster.
We do. We got Harrison Sylvia, Bonza, Jack Bonza, buddy, Mad Match, Torts and Torma, buddy, Jenna, so Luke Watts.
Yeah, well, I was actually just about to bring up Luke Watts.
When he comes back.
I was going to say, someone we just mentioned, Luke Watts. I would love to see Luke Watts versus Trevor Lee. I think those two guys would have an incredible high-flying, showcase type of match.
And we got Robbie Eagles
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Robbie, yeah.
He can come back. He's on the first go,
I mean, obviously,
and
New
he'd be good to come
Japan,
back in the future.
New Japan availability is pending. Robbie Eagles versus Trevor Lee would be one hell of a matchup too. So, man, I think Integrity are going to have their hands full trying to nail just one opponent. And I think even with having two nights, like, how do you pick even just two people? For him, maybe we'll have a tag, maybe there'll be a motor man. I don't know, but I don't envy Integrity having to make that decision, definitely, because even as a fan, my brain is just running wild and seeing what we can do. But we're not here to just talk about Trevor Lee. We're here to talk about you, mate. So with that being said, you've been a wrestling fan since knee high to a grasshopper, so you're probably going to have not just one match, probably a handful of match. But what are some of your favourite matches that you've seen of all time? And then after that, we'll say, I know you've only had a handful of matches, but then what's the favourite match that you've had as well? We'll start with matches you've seen first.
Well, my favourite match of all time, live in person, Penrith Panthers, that's first Matt Riddle.
Yes, dude.
It's my favourite match I've seen live.
They broke the ring. We've actually that's a match that I've actually talked about a few times with different people on this show. that match was, I think even before the ring broke, they were tearing it up. But man, those dudes just that was a phenomenal matchup.
And my favourite match of all time will be, I'm about to say Cena versus Bobby and Dan, one night stand.
Honestly, as far as Cena matches goes, and even for RVD matches, that I know that we look at it fondly for the atmosphere and the way the fans were just nuts on that night. But as an actual match, I feel like that often gets forgotten about just how good it was for that era.
Yeah.
Like,
Cena came in, Ryan Hubbard, the EC fans will go for his head, and they tell you he went as a pro and killed it.
A great
but
match.
They've been the biggest spotlight in ECW, and fans said if Cena wins, we'll watch. And he just...
I truly believe that if Cena had have won, like, obviously they planned for RVD to win, but if somehow, like, the finish had have gotten messed up, because it's wrestling and sometimes shit does happen, as we both know, I reckon if something had have happened where Cena had have won, especially in that crowd, and they had have known that, dude, I think they would have actually rioted for sure. But what about...
His head will be on the stage.
what about matches that you've had, Swoop? I know you've only had a handful of matches in the last couple of years, but what stands out currently for the things that you have done?
My funnest match will be me, Furtis versus 52 and Delicious.
Dude, I've said it a few times, and I'll say it again. The commitment that you had to getting the Team Rocket gear made up, honestly, dude, fucking brilliant.
Alistair Femin on him. He's the best in the business.
A shout out to Alistair, former guest on the podcast. Actually, I've heard very good things. I obviously haven't got gear made from him myself personally. Maybe that'll change when I get cleared. But I've heard very good things with his kick pads and gear and stuff like that. Hell yeah!
So in my other match will be Alice's Lane's up there.
Yeah, dude, you and Slane just punched the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it was raining too.
I'm very sad that I wasn't, because I was actually meant to be.
He was. Yeah,
I was meant to wrestle at that show. That was just before my, that
was 2019.
2019. Yeah, it was meant to be on that show, but unfortunately, life.
He tapped me out. He did.
But yeah,
I'm undefeated on the big shows in Chow. The big shows.
Yes, the main shows. The main shows.
Yeah, not the little small festivals.
But see, it's wrestling, so you can hand that up and just say that you're undefeated at Western Warfare or undefeated at Emma Butler Memorial shows.
And there's one more match. It was my first single match at Kingdom. Me versus Lin Chinsada.
Was that the one where he just beat the shit out of you?
Yeah, he was in the
5 minutes.
Yeah, a master. So.
Was that the one where you came out of the crowd?
That was a different one.
Different one. Because I remember there was a spot where you were you were called out and you come from the crowd and they just started.
That was All-Star.
All-Star. Yeah, okay. We won't talk about that.
Osama Ahazwa.
Yeah, Osama. Was it Osama? Osama Hussein that runs EWA?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Favorite names.
EWA are doing some cool stuff too.
The legend.
Yeah, their title belt in EWA is awesome.
I like the hardcore one.
Yes. Is it the lethal weapon? Yes.
Yeah.
I believe, I could be wrong, I think actually Ads made that too, didn't he, from Royal Label? So shout out to Royal Label.
And you double team.
Yes, with the purple strap with the silver. Fucking
yeah.
Man, I'm just a sucker for a good looking championship. I love that hashtag belt porn, as they call it, with the championship belts.
Yeah.
But while we're talking about people and stuff, Swoop, something you said you actually wanted to bring up, and it's actually it's number 4 on the core 5 for people that are on the Get Show for the first time. But who are some of your dream opponents? And now you can be as crazy as you want, dead or alive, but then give us some realistic ones as well.
There's one I love to do Zuzu in a death match.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, or a death match with Zuzu would be awesome since he's pretty much semi-retired at the moment.
You're going to take the fire?
Oh, yeah. I'll probably go forward.
You heard that here, Zuzu. Former guest of the pod as well, Zuzu. Swooper's agreeing to be set on fire by the muscle clown.
Vinny Vane.
Oh, yes, I love Vinny Vane.
I know Vinny for a long time. He's a good fella.
I unfortunately never got the pleasure of meeting him, but
he's a bad boy.
Yeah. Yes.
Jan Anderson.
Yep.
Just me and him get along pretty well with her. With HCW. High Octane. Since it was my mentor.
Oh, you guys have tangled a couple of times in Rumbles and Battle Royals. Going toe to toe, brothers in arms. Yeah.
Single match would be awesome.
Got to get that singles in.
Of course. Also, I that better. We do that boot camp.
I'll get me eye fixed, and then Swooper will spear me that hard that they'll pop out of me bloody head.
Yeah, lovely.
Hey, no, sign me up, brother.
There's a fella in Canberra. Nick Matino. What's his last name?
Nick Maltino.
That's him. I'm bad with names. In a single match in Canberra at ECW, awesome. Like his wrestling that he does. Just a couple of wrestling. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's just reunited with Mike Kelly as the Dad Squad. You made your debut. Your first ever match was against Mike Kelly, so maybe
I spooked you in, and then I wrecked him.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
After having your head bloody bicycle kicked into the chair.
Yeah, that was in the main event. Bloody Top Big Games coming up. It was on the list. And my next victim. Love the games.
Big James is Swooper's next victim.
Sid Parker.
Ooh, okay. Jurassic Punk.
He's a scary dude. Definitely got that bloody fight or bloody mist he does.
Man, I don't know how much like hair gel do you reckon that dude goes through? Like, one, to not only get that mohawk to stand that high, but to get it to stay in place for like a 15, 20-minute match. That is... Oh, I commend him on that.
I watched him do it one night before at HVW. There was a fair bit. Heaps.
Yeah, how long do you reckon it took him to do that?
Oh, no, I was going back and forth.
Because like even when I've got Nova Lee to do like obviously I've done like the Winter Soldier style makeup, even just that it takes like 10 minutes to do that or 15 minutes to make sure it's all set. So for him to have like the full on face paint and the hair, like that's going to take like a solid hour or so, surely.
Yeah, love the wrestle Puppeteer.
Oh, Puppet, yep.
I did along with him pretty well too. For a weird dude, we did along pretty well.
I'm loving obviously I've only seen it on like clips from socials and stuff, but I love the little bits and pieces that I've seen of him and Zuzu as Cirque de la Mort, Circus of Death.
Oh, that's awesome.
They've done some real cool shit. I saw the video where Zuzu like blew the fire into, I don't even know who it was off the top of my head, but Zuzu like blows the fire in someone's face and they turn around and Puppet hits him with the big fucking choke. I didn't realize Puppet was so tall.
When I first met him, it was at Bathurst. You probably hear him but for like so many times on Go Soft Dates podcast. I was murdered before my match. It was a freeway. I got murdered. And everyone was asking, "Baby, where's Barry later?" So I was the first match. Everyone all night. Where's Barry? And in the main event, I came up to Josh Dyke. I sang his theme song. We'll rock you.
Hell yeah!
And he's on my list too. I want to wrestle. He's a stud. I want to wrestle him.
Hell yeah! Basically, Swoop just wants to wrestle all of Australia at this point. Lee Moreau.
The man Lee. I wrestled it.
The Lee Moreau. You know, I'll give him credit. He went over to the Nightmare Factory with QT Marshall and obviously Cody.
Yeah, the main event on their YouTube. So yeah. So, killing it, mate.
What about dream stipulations, Swoop? Is there any like, you know, like, because everyone goes to cage matches or ladder matches or something, but what's a couple of dream stipulations where if you know we had an unlimited budget in this church at Central West or for Integrity, what's some dream stipulation matches? Obviously, you said you want a death match with Zuzu, but is there any specific type of death match or anything you want to do? Or
drinking game death match, not beer, bourbon, anything.
You should do
the pile match.
You should do they did a match where, and again, like we're promoting family friendly stuff, but this podcast is very much not family friendly. There was a match for, I think it was Wrestling Revolver off the top of my head. It was Trey Miguel versus someone. I can't think off the top of my head. I forget the freaking who was in the match every time just because all I remember is, but after every move they did, they had to take a toke of Trey's vape, which obviously
I've seen this,
vapes. You do a match where, like, after every move, you both have to take a sip of the beer.
Did you see that? You know Evil Uno?
Yes, Evil Uno.
He booked his own shows and that he does, like indie shows.
Oh, yeah, like the mystery wrestling? Is that?
And the ref done the rumbles. The ref done the two spots. One went for the door. The one went for something else. They both took a bump. So Evil Uno said, "We have no more wrestles. He's the refs, so we have to put all the refs in the bumble."
Yes, I saw a clip like that on, I don't know if it was Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
That was gold.
It was a reel of some description. Someone sent it to me. I can't remember who sent it to me. It might have even been you that sent it to me, Swoop. I don't know. I've got too many people that I send stupid shit to, but yeah, I remember seeing that clip. And Uno, he always does commentary, and he always has like special guests doing commentary with him, and it's other wrestlers.
And he's just laughing his head off.
I love those clips from the mystery.
I want a ladder match, or buddy, first blood match or something.
Swoop just wants to use the hardware.
I want it to open, mate.
Swoop wants the taste. Well, there you go.
Or a tag team match, me Octane versus you in big games.
Well, there you go. So even if you do lose, Big James, I say if. I didn't say when. I said if. I'm being completely unbiased in this situation. So regardless of what happens, we're gonna have Octane, and I mean, look, I'd do it.
It'd be fun.
But Swooper, you brought up World Series Wrestling before, and before we go into the plugs and that, I always end on a non-wrestling question. And we all know Swooper likes to drink, and your preferred choice is beer. So first, I'm going to ask the question, and then we can segue from that. But the official question to end this, Swooper, is what is your favorite brand of beer?
What, beer?
Yeah.
Tooheys?
See, I'm very picky with beer, but if you give me a Tooheys Extra Dry or something like that, I'll drink that in a heartbeat.
Tooheys New Carlton Dry.
I just preferred the dry or the crisp beers in general. I feel like they're a lot more smoother for me.
A little more than 2 years old every now and then.
Yeah, yep. No, I don't mind Tuies in general. I really like Tuies, but I'm not much of a drinker nowadays anyway. But I'm glad we've got a mutual ground here, because if you said VB, I might have had to just end this podcast.
Oh, really lovely.
But we all know pretty much any wrestler ever that's met you, Swoop, know that you are you're a bit of a party goer after the shows are done. But something that we were just talking about, well, not just talking about, because we've been talking for about just over 50 minutes all up, but something we were talking about just before we actually started the episode properly. So about half an hour ago now, was one of my favourite memories at World Series Wrestling. Doesn't even involve the wrestling, and it's something that I still talk about with Big James to this day. And it makes me kind of mad, because there was a triple threat, and it was Brian Cage, Jonah Rock, a.k.a. Bronson Reed, and I believe Flip Gordon. I missed probably about 2 or 3 minutes of that match because Swooper made a trip to the bar. There was a bar in the actual venue, and it was open at the time, but it was that busy that Swooper went, screw it, walked to the outside bar, and then brought the drinks in. And while Swooper was walking up the stairs, carrying, I believe, 4 beers you were carrying. I think you had 2 in each hand.
4, yeah.
The lighting in that venue, like, it's pretty decent, but once you get up towards the bar, it's a bit hit and miss. Swooper missed a step, fell up the steps, then proceeded to fall down the steps, landed on his feet, and didn't spill a drop of the 4 beers that he was carrying. I shit you not. I just want to know, first of all, Swoop, how did you discover that you had this talent? And second of all, do you have any PG-ish drinking stories that you can share similar to that? Because the image of you going like a seesaw, landing on your feet, and saving all 4 beers that you were carrying was just a majestic sight. So,
do you see any beer prices lately? It's also the same of beers. It cost about $7 a beer that night. Well, it's also the same of beer. Try to.
I hate to see the price of beer there now that it's, what are we, 6 years later or 5 years later? I think it was 2018 that it happened, maybe early 2019 at the most.
Beer I'm at is just +50. Not too bad.
But do you have any quick drinking stories that we can end this on before we jump into the plugs, Swoop?
Well, I'm trying to think. I think it's PG.
Because I know there's a lot of wrestlers that you enjoy partying and drinking with at various times, and you'll message me every now and then and be like, "Fuck, dude, you'll never guess who I'm drinking a beer with," and it's just like, insert wrestler from Newcastle or Sydney here, and I'm like, it makes sense because like it's their home, but it's just like, what the fuck? Like to me, because I'm all the way down here just outside of Wagga Wagga, I'm like, how the hell is Swoop drinking with this person? Then I realized that logistically it does make sense, but it's still kind of cool. Like who's the coolest person that you've shared a beer with, I guess, in the wrestling industry? I know I think you had a couple of beers with the Briscoe Bros, rest in peace, Jay, when they were here. But who's some of the coolest wrestlers, I guess, that you've shared a beer with, maybe without going into too much detail?
Caden Battle. Caden, he's one of their masters too. I've mentioned him before.
He's a massive fan
awesome
of VB, so that's disgusting.
he's awesome beer with, but he's kind of event, but the Bishop Brothers, we all pissed that night.
Me and Big James were very sad because we were talking to both of them, and as you know, like before the show even started, they were walking in circles around the venue trying to find each other, and it was like they kind of just kept missing each other, and it was very funny. But afterwards they came out and they were like, "Yo, you guys want to come drink at the bar with us? Let me put a shirt on." And Big James's nan actually took us to that specific tour, and we had to go to her because we drove back, and we were just like, "Damn it, we missed out on drinking with the Briscoes."
Missed me until 2, 3 in the morning with them.
And
Bloody,
literally anyone will tell you those boys, both of them, can drink like mofos.
yeah, that was fun. The stuff they told me was the same too. That stories and that. You know, they gave me some good wisdom too. I did to listen to. Vistos, Keaton, of course. Buddy, Slade Mercer when he had a beer. He's fun to have a beer with.
See, I've never. Again, he's another one that unfortunately I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but I'm a very big fan of him. Very, very fucking talented dude, actually.
Buccaneer.
Oh, Buccaneer.
He's on my list on the rest of the
never met either members of. Never met either
I
member of
Bucky
Piracy, but Bucky and Caesar, I'm a big fan of what they were doing as Piracy.
I see Bucky a fair bit. He's a Maitland boy too. He's from Maitland.
Yeah, and he's a big boy too, so I have no doubt that he can handle a beer or two.
I see him a fair bit. So he did see me.
Hell yeah.
Bloody, who else? Bloody Matt Riddle. It was fun.
Dude, I'm so sad I didn't get a photo with him because he was literally taking selfies for free, but we were like so cramped for time on that particular tour that it was just like, shit.
Yeah.
And as you said, they broke the ring and
selfies for free. Didn't buy a t-shirt, man. Oh, no, t-shirt for free.
Hell yeah.
It was good to talk to.
I'm hoping that he comes back sooner than later, to be honest, now that he has been, I mean, I say now that he's been released. He's been released for a while, but you know what I mean? Like, I'd love to see him come back to Australia and maybe either have round 2 with Slex, or even some of the people we've talked about in this conversation I could see. Like Vinnie Vane, Sid Parker, Slade Mercer. You know, the list goes on. I could see any of those guys going with Matt Riddle and they'd be a banger of a match. But yeah, that's just a rant on my own. I'd really love to see him come back to World Series at some point.
A couple of beers with Zuzu before. He's fun to be with.
See, the amount of times I've hung out with Zuzu, I've had, you know, when I was still smoking cigarettes, I've had a cigarette or two with him, but I've never had the chance to have an actual drink with Zuzu, unfortunately.
He's funny as. He's awesome.
I love Zuzu. Never a dull moment at any time I've gotten to hang out with him and shoot the shit. And as I said, like, cheap plug, but the conversation that I did have with him for the podcast, I really, really enjoyed it.
One of the nicest boats ever too. He's up there, top tier, good guy.
So I've talked about this like on when I do Reaction Wednesdays with What If It's Cool, but like the amount of people that I've met that are predominantly deathmatch wrestlers, but are actually just like the most sweetheart like of people when you get to meet them.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think about, but yeah, no, Zuzu's a really good one. So Zuzu, if you ever listen to this, we've got to have a beer eventually, man.
One person I'd love to meet too is Guido.
Oh, you still haven't met Guido?
No, I missed that so many times.
Oh, that's right, because we were all booked on we were a certain show we won't name, but we were all booked on it.
I was at the wrestling at one stage.
Yes.
Then Sit got cancelled, then Sit got cancelled, then the other Sit got cancelled.
There you go. I didn't realise that you hadn't actually met him, because he's been in the Sydney, Newcastle area a handful of times. I didn't realise that you and him hadn't actually crossed paths.
I was either working or I had something on that night.
I definitely. He's again. I've never even really had a conversation with Guido.
I've been on the beers with Benny before. Benny Batwell, he's awesome on the beers with.
Yes, I'm really hoping that I get a chance to have a beer with him in Cowra once everything's done and packed up and et cetera, because again, I've hung out with Benny a few times, but we've never, again, shared, had a cigarette or whatever a few times, with other people while I've been talking to Benny, but we've never had the chance to sit down and have a beverage. And again, drink responsibly, kids, but yeah, he's definitely someone that I'd love to have a beer with. And I'm not going to have a drinking contest with him by any means, because he'd definitely outdrink me, but
I will.
And I'd definitely love to say that. We could charge money for that, honestly. Swooper versus Benny in a beer drinking contest. That'll raise money. That'll raise money for charity for sure.
or my beer fund.
Well, I was thinking we charge money, donate to charity, and then all the cans and stuff, we collect them afterwards, donate that to charity.
Yeah. He came a long way since his neck injury.
Yeah, man, and the fact that, like, when he told me a few weeks ago that he was cleared for Cowra, I couldn't believe it, and then obviously I made the graphics, and having High Octane message me and say, hey, can you make this graphic? I sat on that for, I think, about a week before he actually posted it. And when when he finally posted it on socials for everyone to see, even though I made it already myself, I still looked at it and I was just blown away because I couldn't believe that it was a real thing, man. And I cannot wait to see him. And
he's a very lucky man.
And I think
I'm happy he's doing well on that. I'm very happy.
And this is going to be like a rant, so I do apologise, Swoop, as we're trying to wind this down. But that was a case of this. We all know how toxic at times wrestling in general can be, and especially Australian professional wrestling in New South Wales is a very bittersweet thing at times. But seeing the way that the wrestling community as a whole came together for Benny when that happened, it was really awesome to see, man.
Yeah, it was.
And again, like the little stand for Benny thing that I threw together, you know, not my best work, but seeing that the way everyone shared that around for him and donated for him, and it was very, again, bittersweet, but just heartwarming to see, because you never want to see anyone, like, I wouldn't want to see my worst enemy in that situation. Like, regardless of whether or not I want to see them eating at my table, I still want them to eat regardless, just not near me, you know? And seeing someone that I look at and I respect and I admire go through that was fucking heartbreaking. But seeing everyone come together, that was awesome, and I can't wait to see what him and Arima, because, you know, he's another one that I'd love to.
Oh, he's on my list too.
It's probably never going to happen for me, unfortunately, but the high flying, high impact style that he does, would love to get to wrestle him one day. But I can't wait to see. I think they're probably tied, with all due respect to everyone else on this card. Like, obviously Atticus Slane's coming back for one night only. He's kind of a Central West exclusive now. Him and Birdman's going to be, you know, I know Birdman's a bit of a controversial figure currently, but that's going to be a very fun match, crowd wise to see. But I think, honestly, you versus Big James, obviously from a personal level, because, you know, you're both brothers to me, and I was obviously part of Big James's wedding. But Benny coming back with everything that he's been through, I think they're probably
awesome.
They're probably tied, to be honest, for first place of what
I think it'll be the first. I think Benny's match will be the first match of the night too.
So it's gonna be awesome. Obviously, once I get once all the matches have been announced completely, I'm gonna have James on and run through the card and maybe get a bit more clarity shed on that. But yeah, it's just awesome. Basically, is the long of the short before I go on a fucking 20-minute rant. But with that being said, Swoop, obviously we've got Cowra coming up, we've got the Integrity shows coming up in November, but this is going to drop this coming Sunday. So do you have anything coming up anytime soon that you want to give a shout out to or want to plug? Or
I love to get down Canberra a bit more often. Canberra and that. Love to do some more ICW. Love to. Yeah, Rex, I'm talking to you.
Calling you out, Rex. Book the Swooper.
Yeah, I'd love to come back on, even if for a couple of days. So I've been on Canberra since 2000, and my last match in Canberra was against, what's his name? Captain Ultimate Bonza.
Yeah, Xander Bolt. Yeah.
Yeah,
and that was December, either November or December of 2019, I think.
Yeah,
so that's
19.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. Because I was in the Insanity match with Tank. That's right. Because he hit me with that big spear, and I did the Ziggler Goldberg cell.
Yeah,
which was kind of funny because I'm a fat man. But yeah, you did the open challenge, and Xander Bolt came out and he dropped you really quick. Unfortunately, that might be one of the quickest matches in ICW. So you might have to redeem that, Swoop.
I love to head back down there. We've got a few Cowra shows coming up. ICW, Central West. Intelligences are 2 nights 2 nights so.
Tickets on sale for the Integrity show yet, Swoop?
In the next 2 weeks.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
If they've gone on sale by the time this drops, I'll put them in the description. But if not, y'all just go to. I might even just link their Facebook page so people can go to that. And, yeah, I'll link their Instagram and Facebook and Instagram, and people can just go give them a follow and keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I think I'm very excited, as I said, for you versus Big James. And you let's be honest, you guys aren't like traditional wrestlers. You aren't technicians by any means, but you're a brawler. He's a powerhouse. I feel like those styles, it'll be a nice clash of styles, and I feel like you guys will, and I'm not just saying this because I'm biased, but I will defend you guys, and I think you guys will have a good match, because that scramble match, I guess we call it a scramble match, but the multi-man match that you guys were involved in 2022 was one of the better matches on that card. A very, very, very fun match. And yes, you did win that Wild West contract, and you have a guaranteed shot to. I have no doubt, though. I feel like with High Octane being as close to you as you are, I think you'll no doubt give him plenty of warning when you're ready to cash that in, right?
Oh yeah, I'll give him some warning.
Definitely.
If he doesn't walk out camping on the next day, bloody Mark pull up, bloody. What's his name?
I suppose Crimson Mask does have it. So hey. So if Crimson Mask wins the title, Super Crimson Mask wins the title, Swooper might cash in depending on how beaten up he is. But if Octane gets that, you're just gonna challenge him for the next show, you reckon? And
fair competition.
For fight amongst brothers.
Yeah, but he's a hard man to beat. That Super Crimson Mask.
Oh man, Crimson
Mask. He's from Tasmania, mate. They're different on.
If you guys like listening to this. I probably won't put the link just because there's too many links, but if you guys listening to this don't follow Super Crimson Mask on Facebook, go give him a follow, because one, his promos are phenomenal, but I think was it yesterday as we record this on Tuesday afternoon, he put up a photo of him in his little gym that he's got, and the little compound thing that he's got. Obviously, by the time this drops, the event will have happened.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, as we record this is dropping the day after. We got the Masked Wrestlers League, ICW Central West Saturday Night Smash.
Yeah.
Dude is like, I swear he gets more jacked every time I see him. It's ridiculous. Like, he's a big bad dude, and I think Octane's gonna have to look out for that come October, because he's got 2 more months of working out to get ready.
He's missing some bloody. He's missing some marbles in his head too.
Yeah, I think he's missing marbles and screws, and that's about as far as I'll go, because I don't want to get on his bad side, because he's a scary man.
I heard a rumour he's dead souls in her. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I've heard that they basically keep him locked up in the asylum, and they release him every now and then. But I've heard that he's terrorized. He's made some references to eating one of the nurses at one point, and to be honest, I didn't know whether he was just trying to terrify people or telling the truth. But after seeing some of those promos and seeing some of his workout regimes, I think he might actually be a cannibal. But that's another story for another day. But where can we find you, Swoop, on Facebook and Instagram and etc.?
Well, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, baby, 2020. Well, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, of course.
Have you got any merch that people can purchase at Show Swoop?
Not at the moment, I don't. I'm just trying to get the funds together. Not working at the moment with stuff.
Yeah, man, that's the hard part. I just obviously ordered the shirts for the Emma show, the for the charity, and I had to afterpay. Had to afterpay those.
Well, I don't do afterpay at the moment. I'm not working that for. I might have some shirts for that for Cara. So last time I went to Cara, I saw it up pretty fast.
Yeah, no, it's a good. And I've said this to James as well, and I'll probably plug it again when I do have him back on, but I don't even mean it in a bad way, but Cowra isn't a traditional wrestling town. It's more of a casual fan base, but they're still some of the most passionate fans. Like at the last, was it the International Festival of Friendship in 2022? I think it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was meant to be there, but something happened.
I can't remember if it was that festival or another one because there's a couple of different ones. I think it was that one. But anyway, I was there as a referee, but obviously James let me still sell my John Crossfire merch, and I sold so many hats that day, and I was just like, I was blown away, man, because like. Again, like it wasn't even, they weren't even there for the wrestling. The wrestling was just part of the atmosphere, but people come out and they showed support and they helped us make some money, which, I didn't, it wasn't rich by any mean, but I was able to buy my dinner and buy some groceries when I got home. It's awesome. But yeah, I can't wait to catch up with you in October, buddy. It's crazy that it's somehow it's come so quick, but it also still feels so far away. But
it does, yes.
By the time this drops, it'll be just shy of 2 months. This is going to drop on Sunday, August 18th, and obviously the show is October 26th. But yeah, as I said, I'll link Integrity's socials so people can follow them there, and then that way, when tickets do go on sale for these huge Trevor Lee shows, they'll be the first to know about it. But I appreciate you jumping on, Swoop. I know, like, we've been talking about doing this for a while, and I just, with health and everything, I just haven't had a chance to do it. But I appreciate you jumping on, mate. It's always good to chat with some homies and kill some time. But
I've nothing else to do.
I'm more shocked that I've only gone through half of this peach-flavoured monster. Usually I'll drink it within the first 10 minutes, but I've been enjoying this conversation so much that I've just completely forgot that it was sitting there. It's a peach flavored monster. It's no sugar, so a lot of people don't like them because it has like a weird aftertaste. But you kind of get used to it after a while. But it's actually my favorite monster flavor. It's really good.
Well, I'm wanting those little bees. They're not too bad.
I like the blue ones, the no sugar ones. They actually taste really good. But no, man.
So carrot will be fun.
Carrot will be very fun, and obviously that was the. Do you have, I think, before we wrap this up, do you just have any final words, for Big James, I guess, going into this singles match?
Mate, be going home back to Sydney at Lovers, brother, that, but you go back to Sydney, up for the Blue Mountains as a sad man. Back to St. Mary's, where you come from.
Well, there you have it, Big James. Swooper said that he's going to
still on the beers. We're in the beers afterwards.
Hopefully, again, I'm going to stay unbiased, but hopefully, if you do beat him, hopefully he's not too sad to enjoy a beer with us afterwards, because I'm looking forward to it. I am. I'm really looking forward to it.
No, it's just sat tied up me, Big James, Birdman, Octane, West's Open Challenge.
Yeah.
That's happening.
And then obviously, Benny versus Aaron. Yeah.
Got Chris Stevens, Slain or Taurus, and it's Birdman. Good Super Tuesday Mask.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what C Factor will be doing on that show when it's announced.
Oh, me too.
Because even I don't know. Like, all I have currently from even Octane, and I'm the one that makes the graphics, is just that he's appearing live because he's still kind of trying to put the card, into order. So who knows? We could even see C Factor answer the open challenge of Rex. That could be interesting. But
he probably doesn't want Buddy Dirtsy to find out.
maybe Swooper or Big James will answer Rex's open challenge. There's nothing.
Probably.
I haven't seen anything about people doing double duty. There's not out of the question. I guess it's whoever walks through the curtain first or gets in the ring first. So
yeah, I've been to wrestle Rex last year, but something happened.
Yeah, card subject to change, as they say. But hey, maybe we can run that back. But yeah, you'll have to
something to do with public transport to Sydney.
Yeah,
into Canberra.
We'll just have to, I guess, wait until I get James on so we can actually break that card down fully. But yeah, we got some cool stuff announced already. And yeah, but as I said, click the links, buy some tickets. I think I could be wrong, but as of now, there's 36 or 37, may have been 38, but it was Less than
35 left.
Yeah, 35. Okay, well, there you go. There's even less. 35 tickets left as of this recording. I believe we're capped at...
And once they're all sold, there's no more tickets available.
Yeah, because we're capped in this venue. Is it 120 or 125 seats or something like that? We're in a smaller venue, so we're capped. But anyway, there's going to be 100... But by the time the event rolls around, I have no doubt they'll be sold. And we're going to have over 120 screaming fans in a church, which, again, it's still a little bit weird to me, so I hope it doesn't fall down when I walk inside it, to be honest. But... I'm very excited.
No, mate. I'm walking through the church door, mate. It can burn down the time it wants. I'll be in there.
We'll all have to walk. We'll all just have to walk through the door holding hands or something and just hope and pray that it doesn't fall on top of us.
Get me walking first, doesn't chase.
Make sure no one gets struck by lightning before we the rest of us follow. But I appreciate you jumping on, Swoop, and just marking out. And I'll have to get you back on at some point and just kind of talk about some of your the stuff you're talking about with like the Sabu and the Sandman and Jeff Hardy, and just basically just mark out, because at the end of the day we're all marks, and some people say it's a dirty word, but I think there's nothing wrong with it, man. Like, we're all just fans. But yeah, we'll just maybe have some adult beverages, do a watch along of some sort of either a very bad match that's funny or just a crazy weapons match.
I'm lucky about the ice hockey team.
Hell yeah, man.
The ice hockey team got beat the other day, didn't they?
Yeah, so finals haven't started just yet, but
Newcastle, mate. Newcastle will win it.
So I actually support Central Coast just because they're the Rhinos, and rhinos are my favourite animal. They did really bad. Their season's over now.
Newcastle's running royalty, mate. But yeah, Newcastle.
Miss Nova Lee, she's a Canberra Brave supporter. They actually just made the finals, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But I'm really excited as we record this. 26 days until the NFL kicks off.
You should last soon.
Yes, 26 days, man. Like, it's going quick.
Who are you off for MVP?
For
the season?
I don't know. It's too early to tell, man.
My Heisman Trophy winner for college is Dark. So Dark.
Hell yeah.
I love my college football. I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan.
So I haven't watched much college ball, but I'm a Georgia Bulldogs fan. I watched a couple of games, but because they're obviously they're on at 3, 4 a.m. here in Australia most of the time. So I missed them 9 out of 10 times. And then the few times where they did have the nighttime games where it was 8 or 9 o'clock for us, I had appointments or I had to go do groceries, and I was just like, fuck's sake. Something just kept going off and I kept missing. It happens with my NFL games as well. But yeah, I actually want to get a PS5 so I can get the new college game. But I think we should wrap this up. Otherwise, we're just going to talk for another hour about sports and God knows what. But you're a Patriots fan, yeah, for NFL.
I am indeed. Yeah.
Yes. So that'll be interesting.
Patriots, New York Rangers.
Be interesting to see how they go.
Patriots.
They haven't been the same since Brady left, honestly.
No, we don't.
Nah, they're doing all right. They're doing all right. They're doing all right. I'm a Rams fan, so I can't say shit because we won the Super Bowl.
What
was it, 2020 or 2021? I think it was 2021. Win the Super Bowl, and then the last 2-3 years is just, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But Bengals did the same. They were on a run, had some good years, and then doesn't matter.
Joe Burrow's some big money.
Joe Burrow is a great player, but it feels like last season just kind of. I feel like the 2022-23 season, he did really well, but it feels like last season he kind of fell off a little bit there. But he's been training hard. He's got the Cody Rhodes hairstyle currently. He's got the bleach blonde.
I've seen that.
Maybe he's going to finish his story, but.
And Cody Rhodes or her lemon hairdo. I taught the homeowner.
But if you were to look at the current team list, I think this will be the last question. So, who on paper, looking at who the teams have now, who's your pick for Super Bowl for NFL next year in 2025?
This is a hard one. I'm saying there's about 5 teams wouldn't can make it or win it. So the Ravens will be up there. Of course, Lyle, he's a reigning MVP at the moment. Kansas City Chiefs, they'll be up there again.
Yeah, they could go back to back.
49ers.
So I've kind of got 2 picks.
Deeper Lions.
Yeah, the Lions had a massive comeback too. Like they had that really bad season and they did really good. And then last year, I thought they were honestly, I thought Lions were one of the front runners last year.
Not Dallas. I hate Dallas.
Well, the Rams just beat them. And it's only a preseason game, but we beat them 13-12.
A win's a win, mate.
A win's a win. I'll take what I can. That's for sure. Yeah.
But no, I love to see, buddy. Who's on, buddy? Lamb left Dallas yet?
I'm not sure.
There's something happening at the moment with him.
See, the issue is, and I have this conversation with Big James where I try really hard to follow it, but I have enough trouble keeping up with which player goes where in NRL, and they've got half the amount of teams that the NFL does. But no,
yeah.
my pick, honestly, I think if they play like they did last season, I think the 49ers could redeem themselves. Number 2 for me is funny because you said them as well, is the Ravens. And then number 3, I'd say I could see Kansas going back to back to back. But number 1 for me, I reckon 49ers just on paper. But
well, he's got that new wide receiver. He has got 40 backs and next to nothing. They're a form of rugby player as running back.
Yeah, they've got some really. You get a bit muffled there for some reason, but yeah, they've got some really good players mixed with the current players. So I'm really I'm both happy and sad about is obviously XFL became UFL. We didn't get to watch this season because it wasn't available in Australia, but I'm a Battlehawk supporter, and the last year we had Hakeem Butler left the Battlehawks, went to the Steelers. Got cut, came back, and now he's gone to the NFL again, but he's going to the Bengals. And looking at the current lineup they have, I think he might actually make the starting lineup, to be honest, for the Bengals, which makes me happy for him, but it makes me sad once UFL starts up because it's going to screw us. But I think we should wrap this up, otherwise we're just going to talk about sport for
one more. Travis tells me, buddy, Terry Hill, 12 kids, mate. Hill.
Yeah, for sure.
12 kids with 12 different baby mamas.
I suppose the money that those players are making, it's probably triple, if not 4 times more than what Australian sports people make. So he's got the money to support them.
He got married this year. He got married, got his missus pregnant, and got someone else pregnant afterwards too.
I think he's trying to compete with what's that? What's his name? Nick Cannon?
Yeah.
I think he's trying to compete with him.
And Phil Rivers.
The kids they got.
And Phil Rivers too.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Been here about 13 kids he does.
They're just building their own team, Swoop.
Why not?
All righty, I'll let you go, my dude. But I appreciate you jumping on and talking wrestling and footy and everything in between. But no, man, I reckon one time, hopefully when we get a chance, we'll sit down and just do like a drunken watch along to some sort of death match or something.
Bloody Sabu stuff.
Hell yes. I've been playing WWE 2K24 at the moment, and they've added the option to you can press the button to you can actually throw the weapons now. I love just throwing the chairs in people's face, and I just call it the Sabu. Just throwing the chairs in their face. But yeah, I think we've got just under an hour. What are we at? About an hour and 10 for this episode. So I think we'll wrap this one up before we just. Yeah. But I appreciate you jumping on, my brother, and
older brother.
Looking forward to seeing you in Cara, my dude.
Yeah, see you soon.
Okay, that was Barry the Swooper Blake. Very fun conversation, as I said, and I can't wait to see the Swooper in October for the Emma Butler Memorial Show. And, of course, As you guys may have seen on my socials, myself and Nova Lee were modeling the Radiation Kick t-shirts that I have got made up. $30 each, limited sizes, $10 for each shirt will go to Emma's charity at the end of the night, as well as about 10%, maybe a little bit more if I sell heaps and heaps of merch. So hey, buy more merch. But no, a small percentage of my merch, my general merch, and $10 for every shirt sold will be donated to Emma's charity and Emma's family, and hopefully get some more equipment to help detect, the type of tongue cancer and stuff that Emma had within, the more rural Central West areas, which are obviously a lot smaller than your big cities, and honestly need help with the funding because it's a small area and it's just life. So come along, come raise money, have a good night. Of course, the link for that will be in the description. Speaking of links, you can check the link tree. I'll put Nova Lee's link tree in there as well, even though she's not here, but you can get all of our socials. My Pro Wrestling Tees, which has Courting Conversation merch. Nova Lee even has merch on there. The Radiation Kick shirt is actually on there as well if you need a bigger or a smaller size. I only get $10 back in all up from the Pro Wrestling Tees store. But yeah, if you come to the show and buy them personally from the ones on hand, they'll be donated. Proceeds will be donated to Emma's charity. Amazon wish list. The GoFundMe is still there. It's not as needed now that, things are starting to settle down, and hopefully after this emergency appointment in a couple of weeks, we can focus on getting these stitches out finally, because it's like day 800 and something at this point. It's well over 2.5 years, and I'm going mad, but it is what it is. Of course, as we said in this conversation, I will link the Facebook and the Instagram page to Integrity Sports Entertainment, so you can keep an eye out for when tickets for the Trevor Lee shows go on sale. But more importantly, just check the links, follow Swooper, follow myself, follow Nova Lee. But check the links, because as of this episode, when this drops, October 26th, as we keep saying, the link is there. I've just repeated myself and I'm going to say it again. Emma Butler Memorial Show. Buy a ticket. There's only 35 tickets left as of recording. Seats are limited. And then we have November 23rd, Extreme Capital Wrestling, a Hard Day's Fight. Tickets are on sale. And November 30th, MXW All for One. It's actually All for One too. So is it All for One or is it All for Two? I don't know, but it's All for One too. And they have, of course, the All for One Rumble. And they have a very special guest in one Bobby Fish. So buy your tickets to that as well. But yeah, the song of the week was the More Chili Slot Machine sound, because why not? It's a great little 30-second jingle, and it gives you a good little feeling and gives you a good little laugh when you listen to it. And the match was Sabu versus Rob Van Dam, TNA Hard Justice 2010. They actually called this one Hardcore Justice, as it was the little ECW, tribute / love letter, but it is in the Hard Justice series of pay-per-views that TNA did. But yeah, that's it. I don't think, the good thing is, because I'm here by myself, I can't rant too much. But yeah, thanks to Swooper for coming on. Make sure you guys check all of those links and like and follow and all of the above. As of this recording, I have done, I believe, just over 56 kilometers for the month, and my goal was 50. So by the time I do my walk tomorrow, by the time this episode goes out, I'm going to have walked 60 kilometers. And the day this drops, obviously because I'm going to Canberra, I'm going to miss a few days. But the day this drops, hopefully I can get back into it, depending on how I feel after traveling. But the day after, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll definitely do it. So week 3 is only going to be either 3, possibly 4 days, but I'm smashing it. I'm killing it. Currently, we have $122 that have been donated by Giant Coyote. I haven't put the link for that in my link tree. I may not, but just keep an eye on my stories where every day after I do my walk, I post a link to that. Obviously, I'm not expecting people to donate, but if you can donate, that's awesome. If not, share the link. But yeah, peace, love, hugs. I am the Essential John L. Crossfire. We just sent in the Swooper, and you have been caught in conversation. And since Miss Nova Lee isn't here, I'm going to say it myself. Shugga-lugga-lucka.